Okay, so just get yourself ready for your practice. Sometimes it's nice, rather than to start in cross legs, to start in Supta Baddha Konasana. So that is what we will do this morning. So come down onto your back, soles of the feet together, your knees apart, and then just rest yourself down into the floor. Have the heels of the feet together, let the knees fall apart. Have your hands on your lower ribs and just observe your energy. Consciously lift the chest. If there's stiffness in your hips, then put some blocks on the outsides of your thighs. Otherwise, just resting into Supta Baddha Konasana, pushing your heels together and drawing your attention into the breath, focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and long, slow, deep, deliberate exhalations. Push your heels consciously together. Lengthen from your heels into your toes. Feel your lungs from the bottom to the top, and empty your lungs from the top to the bottom. With your hands on your lower ribs, observe how the chest expands for the in-breath. And encourage that to happen. And relaxes with the out-breath. How the lower ribs relax, move in a little. How they broaden and open with the in-breath. So in Supta Baddha Konasana, the chest is lifted and opened of its own accord because you're on the floor. But just observe the lifting and opening action of the inhalation. And give it some assistance. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude, something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance and then stretch your arms up to the ceiling. Spread your fingers wide and then interlock the fingers right into the webbing of the hands and turn your palms all the way out. Squeeze your outer elbows in and then lengthen your arms along the floor. If there's stiffness in your shoulders, put some supports underneath your hands, like a folded blanket or some blocks. Just feel how you can open the armpits, open the armpit chest. How you can breathe into the armpit chest. Release your arms, swap the interlock of your fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then lengthen your arms along the floor. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Filling the breath into the armpit chest as well as the front chest. Filling the breath into the back chest. And then release your arms, bring your hands back onto your lower ribs, just take a few more breaths, just breathing into the armpit chest, into the front chest and into the back chest. Really maximising the surface area that the air touches. Gently draw your knees together, have your knees together and your feet apart, just resting your back into the floor. And then either get hold of your knees or get hold of the outside edge of your feet and then have a little rock from side to side in happy baby, or just clutching your knees and just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just making the skin that contacts the floor, just bringing some consciousness and awareness into that back skin. And then just roll over onto your right side and then sit yourself up. Just come into cross legs. So either half padmasana or swastikasana. Just hold onto your knees. Just lift up into the heart area, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Just observe how you are sitting in the seat bones and continue to breathe into from the bottom of the lungs up to the top, but not just from the bottom to the top, from the sides, from the middle and to the sides, and get the air to touch the back chest as well. So just in the seat bones if you feel like you need to find levelness. And then just spend a few moments observing how the air touches the lining of the lungs. So we often consider the breath to be kind of front chest centric. Try and breathe into the armpit chest. Try and breathe into the back chest. Just make the body awake to the actions of the breath. Take a deep inhalation. And with the exhalation, turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders, maintaining that breath. Observe whether the chest, the arm that kind of crosses the chest, whether that minimizes the expansion of the chest. So bend your elbows out to the side a little. Maintain that full expansion of the chest. Draw your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders. And then come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, expanding the chest outwards. And then turn to the left. Drawing your abdomen across, your ribs across, your shoulders across. Just continuing to breathe into the back chest and into the armpit chest. And then come back to the center. Just come onto your knees. Just let the legs just really sink into your mat. Really connecting deeply with the floor. And then consciously push your shin bones into the shin skin. Lift up into the chest. Aim to fill the back chest as well as the front chest with your breath. And then come forwards, hinging at the hips. And then bring the forehead down. If you lose contact between the seat bones and the heels, then have a block underneath your head. Maintain that deep connection to the breath. Making the breath touch the armpit chest and the back chest. Come up onto your knees, turn your toes under, and then come up into dog down. Just spend some time observing the breath. Activating the legs, tightening the kneecaps, lifting the fronts of the thighs up to the top of the leg. Pushing the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. All the time trying to get the Breath into the back chest and into the armpit chest. And of course into the front chest. And then step your feet forwards, come up into a standing position. Bring your blocks from underneath your hands for parivrtta. And then turn your toes in a little. Have your heels as wide apart as your little toes. And then lift up into your chest. Elevate your heart area upwards. Have your hands on your hips. Wing the elbows towards each other. Take a deep inhalation. Get in the breath to touch the armpit chest and the back chest. And then with an out breath, hinge at the hips. Keep the head lifted. And then reach down and find the floor with the fingertips. Activate the kneecaps, the thighs and the seat bones. Do the cow pose with the seat bones. Do the cow pose with the front chest, lifting the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin. See if you can continue to breathe into the back chest and the armpit chest, as well as the front chest. Make the action of the legs even. If you can go down lower, then do, but don't be in a rush. Just find yourself in the pose. Just find the pose. Listen to the pose. Listen to the breath. And listen to the body's response to the pose. Reach down to the floor, then do, but this can be strong for your back, so just be cautious. Stay on the higher lift if you've got a back problem. Observe where your weight is. Is it in your hands? Is the tips of your fingers got a lighter colour? Or can you hit the shins back? Hit the thighs back so that your weight drives itself into the heels, and then lift the seat bones, project the chin and the chest forwards, and again just work to really expand the chest with the in-breath, observing your abdomen's role in that same action. And then bring your hands into your hips and then come up into a standing position, bending your knees if you need to. Just be in tadasana, in the edge of the feet together, tightening the kneecaps, hitting the thighs back, turning the fronts of the shins inwards. Just breathe into the armpit chest, into the back chest. It's a subtle action. But can you instigate it? Just listen to the breath. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump the feet apart for trikonasana. Turn your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out. Bring the chest back to the front and just feel the legs. Feel where they are. Are they straight? Tighten the kneecaps. Turn the thighs consciously outwards to bring weight into the outside edge of the foot. Maintain that even action of the legs, activating that back leg in particular. And then come down into trikonasana. Just feel where the body is in 3 dimensions. Just look down as your head over your foot. If it's not, lift your chest, squeeze the front leg buttock bone in a little, and then look up. Breathe in and out through the nose if you can. Feel in the armpit chest and the back chest with the breath. If there's instability, go to the back leg. Activate that back leg. Press the foot into the floor. Lift from the foot into the shin, into the kneecap, into the thigh, up into the hip. Press from the hip into the heel. And then come back to the center. Swap the feet around, turning the whole of the left leg and foot all the way out. Turning the right toes in slightly. And then reaching over. Finding the shin. Just listen to the feeling of the body. Fill the lungs from the bottom to the top. Get the air to touch the armpit chest and the back chest as well as the front chest. Does the torso feel even on both sides, or does the left side feel smaller than the right side? So press the top of the thigh of that left leg, press it down to the floor, and then lengthen the left armpit away. And then come back to the center, bring feet parallel, and then jump or step your feet back together, come back into tadasana. Just observe how you've woken the body up a little. Perhaps after trikonasana your sinuses feel clearer. Just breathe evenly into both lungs. Evenly out of both lungs. Just bring a couple of blocks onto either side of the block. Just make sure you're not going to jump on them. Have them on the right side for parsvottanasana. Breathe even deep inhalations and exhalations. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step your feet nice and wide. Bring your hands onto your hips. Turn your left toes in steeply, and then turn the heel out a little more. And then rotate on the right foot. Again, pick up the heel with that back foot, turn it out a little more. The heels are in line. Or you can bring this front foot out to the side a little more if you're struggling to find your balance. Activate the back leg, tighten the kneecap. Turn the fronts of the thighs inward so that the hips come level. Lift up into the chest, and then with the back leg dead straight, with that front leg dead straight, come forwards, hinging at the hips, and then find the blocks. Even if you don't need the blocks, it's a good place to start. You can just activate the legs. You can feel how the hips are level, and then a little bit at a time you can just come forwards, lengthening the chest. If you can reach down to the floor, then do. Lengthening the spine away from the legs. Breathing into the front chest, into the armpit chest, into the back chest, but without letting the shoulder blades stick out. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. So you can either stay in parsvottanasana, or you can bring that left hand over to the right side of the foot, onto the little toe side of the foot. You can always use a block for your hand if you need to. You can go to parivrtta trikonasana. So bring the left hand onto the little toe side of the right foot, and then bring the right hand into the small of your back. Keep your legs activated, lengthen the chest, lengthen the spine. And then turn the chest to the right side, keeping those legs really firmly activated. Drawing the abdomen across, drawing that top shoulder towards the left side of the room. And then if you can, reach up. Lengthen from the heel of that back foot into the spine. And then uncoil. Just come back to parsvottanasana. Bend that front leg, step in, and then come up into tadasana. Put the blocks onto the other side. Just be in tadasana. Just use the pose to bring the breath back to a normal level. Bring your arms out nice and wide, in towards your chest, and then step or jump, feet nice and wide. Turn your right toes in steeply, rotate on the left foot, bring in that left foot kind of right over to the side of the room, and then turn that back leg, turn the heel all the way out with that back leg, rotate the legs inwards. Feel that you can connect the feet to the floor, and you can lengthen from the feet into the shins, into the kneecaps, into the thighs, into the hips. Keep the chest lifted as you come forwards and reach down and find the blocks. Again, it may feel too high, but there's really no such thing as too high, there's just space. So just breathe into the armpit chest, breathe into the back chest, to the front chest, but keeping the shoulder blades moving inwards. You can go down lower, then do, just observing how different it feels on this side to the previous. If you can reach down to the floor, then do. Just find that stability in the legs. And then bring the right hand over to the little toe side of the left foot. You can always keep the hand on the big toe side, but have it as close to the big toe as you can. And then bring the right hand over, bring the left hand into the small of the back. Reactivate the legs, and then turn the chest, face across the left leg. And then if you can, reach up, or just keep that hand on the small of the back, or just stay in parsva. then gently come down back into parsvottanasana. Bend the front leg, step yourself in, and then come up into tadasana. Just observe how the body feels. So parivrtta trikonasana is a really good pose for just waking up the chest, waking up the spine. Softening the jaw and in the tongue and in the throat. And then come down onto your knees. Have your hands shoulder width apart, have your feet hip width apart. Step back and then bring yourself up into dog down, Adho Svanasana. Breathing into the armpit chest, into the back chest, but keeping the shoulder blades moving in. Activate your legs. Feel that there is inner balance of action. And then come down onto your knees. Just sit back on your heels. Observe your energy. Observe the lightness of your energy. And then come forwards into Adho virasana. Breathing into the armpit chest, into the back chest. So breathing into the back chest isn't necessarily easy, but you have to really apply your mind in order to find it. Just getting the air to touch every corner, every surface of the lungs. And then just bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Just push yourself up into a seated position, just sitting back on your heels. Again, just observing the lightness of your energy. Just sit yourself in cross legs. Just hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. Just roll onto the front edge of the seat bones. And if you struggle to do that, sit on a lift, sit on a folded blanket or on some blocks. Elevate the heart area upwards and draw your shoulders. I'm trying to move my head too quickly. Elevate the heart area upwards, draw the shoulders down. And then draw the chin forwards and down to meet the chest, Jalandhara Bandha. Put something in between the chin and the chest if you don't reach. A pair of socks, or if you've got one of these lavender eye pillows, that's really good for that as well. So lift the chest, make contact. Lift the anal sphincter up towards the diaphragm region for Mula Bandha. And then just spend some time with the breath, filling the lungs into the armpit chest and into the back chest, and allowing the energy of the breath to overflow into your arms and your legs and your torso. Just focusing on letting the air inflate into the lungs without resistance. And then gently release Mula Bandha, release Jalandhara Bandha, and then just raise your head, just looking forwards. Just continuing to feel that the chest can expand with the in-breath without resistance. So we can do a couple of rounds of brahmari pranayama. We'll do 5 brahmaris. So remember, brahmari is the normal in-breath and the hummed out-breath until the lungs are empty. So you can do this with your eyes closed, just feeling the resonance in the chest, or just look down at the floor and look at something that doesn't move. So as we perform our brahmari pranayama, just be really conscious of the body's resonance in the chest and in the throat and in the head. So I'll just give you a quick demonstration of one round. Just normal inhalation. And then when the breath stops, that is when you've run out of breath. So try and operate until the lungs are empty. So just a few normal breaths for the moment, just normal in breaths, normal out breaths. Take a normal out breath, and then a normal in breath, and then we will begin. So 5 brahmaris just in your own time. And then a normal in-breath, a normal out-breath, and returning the breath back to a normal rhythm, maintaining and retaining the resonance in the chest that you observed through the practice. Hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, and then just very gently turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across, and your ribs and your shoulders. Again, maintaining that armpit chest breath, back chest, so bending your elbows out to the sides a little to maximize the distance that you can breathe into. And then come back to the center. Hold on to your knees and then turn to the left. And then come back to the center. So we're going to finish in our restorative surfboard pose because it's a good way to encourage back breathing. So have a bolster, have a block, maybe a blanket for your head. If you've got anything like a little mini bolster, I've just got a kind of a towel wrapped up in a pillowcase here. So have that for underneath your shins if you've got it, or you can just use a folded up cushion or whatever. Just lay yourself down along the front of your bolster. The priority here is that your head is free at the end of the bolster. Just rest your forehead down onto the block And then rest your hands and your arms just either side of the shoulders. Just adjust until you feel comfortable and even. And then once you're comfortable and relaxed, then we can go into our back breathing process, where you breathe in into the middle of the shoulder blades and out into the armpit chest, and then a normal exhalation. And you breathe into the middle of the back and out into the lower ribs, and then just a normal exhalation. And then the third breath is breathing down into the base of the back, into the sacrum area, into the lumbar, and out into the hips. And then normal exhalation. So it's just a conscious deep inhalation into the back. So whenever you're ready, just a normal out breath, normal in breath, normal out breath, and then inhale into the top chest, then a normal exhalation, then into the middle chest, back chest, and then normal exhalation, and then into the lower back, out into the hips. So whenever you're ready. Back breathing is a really good way to clear the brain fog and to purify your energy. So you're inhaling into your back with normal exhalation. Just bring the breath back to a normal rhythm after completing your third back breathing space. Just bringing the breath back to a normal rhythm. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders, push yourself up into a seated position, and then just sit back on your heels for a moment. Just observe the expansion of the chest, observe the energy of the chest and the torso and the arms and the head and the legs, just that feeling of energetic lightness radiating from the bones and into the muscles, into the organs, into the flesh and the skin. And then sit yourself on your bolster, just come into a good cross-legged position. Make sure that you're feeling evenly placed on the seat bones. Bring your hands into Namaste. Just a final spinal lift. This time drawing your breath down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning. Good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the reclining poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. And then just spend a moment to seek to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Just connecting the tip of the index finger with the tip of the thumb. And then as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you really lifted your energy, cleared your mind, and given yourself some good positive energy to put into your day. So thank you very much for joining me.